This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. This for my people. This for my people. Yeah, this for my people. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man. Painted by the Spanish, did a whole lot of damage. Shit was outlandish, banks got branded. Split up all the families, then shipped across the Atlantic. So many died from the famine. Threw the dead bodies overboard, sharks ate them like salmon. I know you can't stand it, I spit the truth, goddammit. Big business got managed, dig it double back. Came to pick up all the blacks. Whips beat up our back, we never got to relax. Pretend to set us free, but then you double back without a crack. The type of games that you play, 80 keep it real, I ain't going for it. Beat a couple court cases, had a warrant for it. Told my mama if I ever did time, I'ma raise up the whole yard. Had my lawyer like, oh Lord, district attorney added more charges. No problem, I ain't tripping, thumbing through the scriptures. Muhammad said the Lord with your boy, that's a small issue. Bounce back out the rebound, UPK got the heat now. They done let me off the leash now, teaching in the streets now. A part of Lost Tribe South, but it started in the East now. Look, this for my people, this for my people. Yeah, this for my people, this for my people. This for my people, yeah, this for my people. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. For my people, this for my people. Yeah, this for my people, this for my people. This for my people, yeah, this for my people. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him. Fuck the white man, fuck the white man, fuck him.
Test 1, 2. 2, 2, 2. 2. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now,
all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you. I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me. But that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name, now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made the face. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord. trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap. I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. Found the DC school, I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and I started running fast. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. It's UPK until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail. Shit, I needed help. But Swan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie and pump smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a
ISUPK. Shalom, Israel. This is the ISUPK coming to you. This is the Detroit camp, ISUPK. This is a Thursday morning class, and we've been bringing forth this truth. Salakia, let me take care of that echo. Salakia. We've been bringing forth the truth since 1969. Started out at 1 West 125th Street under commanding General Yohanan. And that truth is the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. This is a Thursday morning class, and as you know, for those who catch us, we go over basic scriptures. We go over basic scriptures on Thursday morning so you can get rooted, begin to get rooted and grounded in the word of the Most High. We are in a interesting season. Yesterday had that demonized holiday they call Halloween. And I don't know how many of these evil churches had Halloween parties for their children. But that's crazy. But it also, for this year in particular, it marks the beginning or the ramping up, the big midterm elections coming up in a couple of weeks. And I know if you're an Israelite, you're not running out there voting in those elections. It's a crazy thing that we would run into an election booth, to an election place, and plead with our captors. We would plead with our captors to do something for us when we're the ones that are in captivity. And we would actually elect folk and help elect folk. And that's crazy as well. We have no business involved in their elections. This is not our rest. This is not our rest. We are still in captivity. That's what we are. We're still in captivity. So this is not our rest. And then we got all those other hellish holidays coming up that we hope to, week by week, day by day, dissuade you from being a part of. By not keeping these so-called holidays, you begin to take yourself out of Babylon, out of America. And that's what we need to do. But since it is an election season, the big thing that's going on, and this is what we want to talk to you about. So we want you, because we want you to calm down. The big thing now is the racism of the White House. Donald Trump and all his racist ways. And as you look around throughout the ISUPK, you notice nobody gets nervous over this clown. We use him as a teaching point, but nobody gets nervous over there. We know he sent the troops down there to the southern borders of the United States to meet those brothers and sisters that are headed this way. But understand, this is nothing new. Donald Trump is being used, believe it or not in too different of a way than Pharaoh was being used. The Most High knows what he's up to. The Most High knows what he's up to. And so what we're going to do is we're going to deal with that because all these going to the polls and all this, they trying to get rid of a racist culture that they say Donald Trump has reignited in America. Well, if you've been around the ISUPK anytime, we say racist enough, you know where we're headed in our teaching. And what we're going to tell you right now, the reason we don't get upset is that the Most High, Yahweh, our power, we want you to know right now that he is racist. That he is racist. And here's the secret, Israel. He's racist in favor of you. He's racist in favor of you. And the racism of man doesn't compare to, can't deal with the Most High. His racism, the Most High is so racist. He loves you so much that even after all our forefathers did for thousands of years to turn this people's back on the Most High, even after all we've done in our lifetime to continue to spit in the face of the Most High, he said, yet will Israel be saved. He has not turned his back on you. He has not turned his back on you. So let's get into the topic. You know how we say it on Thursday morning. Get your pencil, get your paper, get your Bible, and let's get ready to take notes for when we teach in the ISUPK. It's line upon line, precept upon precept. And know this, that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. And when we speak, we understand that we must speak as the oracles of God. So we're not going to give you an opinion. We're just going to tell you what the Bible say. What the Bible say this morning. And we'll say good shalom to the brothers and sisters online this morning. Get ready to study. We're going to start with Deuteronomy 7, verse 6. We're going to start over there. Deuteronomy 7, verse 6. And remember, we deal with milk scriptures. We deal with the basics. We're giving you the basics. And any of these scriptures we give you, here's the thing I like about our basics, is they'll cut a Christian to pieces. There's not a preacher here in the city of Detroit, Christian preacher, that can stand up against these scriptures. And these are just the basics. These not real deep. These not General Mahaiman teaching. This is not commanding General Yohana teaching. These are basic scriptures every trooper, every student, every trooper in this school learns. Every officer of 50 learn these scriptures, learn these breakdowns. These are basic scriptures. And we teach them to our wives and we teach them to our children. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Let's get this breakdown. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord. Now, the first thing we want to point out is that this is Moses talking to Israel. This is Moses talking to Israel prior to them going into the promised land. And he has the elders up there with him, and he's looking out on the people, and he's saying, he's telling them, for thou art an holy people. Not that thou will be, that you are right now. Listen to that, Israel. Right now, you are still a holy people. Right now, you're still a holy people. But what we have to do is come to understand what is the definition of holy. The definition of holy simply means to be separate, set apart. You're separate. You're separate. So for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, unto Yahweh thy power. Now, he's chosen you, Israel. He's chosen you. And this means something. This means something. And he's finna right off the rip show you how racist he is. Now, there's other people in the earth. In fact, there was 18 nations. Israel was only one of them. There's 18 nations. But among those 18 nations, he's chosen you to be separate from all the other nations and to be unto himself. Keep reading. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee. Again, he chose you. He chose you. We didn't choose him. He chose us to be a special people unto himself. Again, the Most High has brought us to him. He hugs us. He reaches out and he brings us to him. He's decided to look out for us. He's decided to love us. You see. And we are particular and special to him. We're going to keep reading. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now that's an interesting phrase. And the reason I say that, in the last couple of weeks we've been dealing with that John 3:16 breakdown, where it said John 3:16. In John 3:16 it said, "For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son." And the reason we go and do that breakdown is because the people in this world, the Christian church and a whole bunch of folk, the Muslims, all of them, everybody say that John 3:16 was said, "For God so loved the world," it means everybody. Now, I'm not going to reteach that, but we've taught that does not mean everybody. That means a particular people, meaning Israel, meaning you, Yasharallah, meaning you. Now here we have the phrase that says, "Thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." That means, that's the true understanding. That's the true pointing out that he's including the whole earth as we understand it, as they teach the world, meaning everybody, this big ball and this big mass, and everybody, every people that's on the face of the earth. He's not leaving anybody out. He's chosen you, Israel, so-called black man, so-called Native American, so-called Hispanic. He's chosen you to be above every person, every other people on the face of the earth, all them other 17 tribes. He's chosen you. And look at here, you might as well feel good about it. Don't become apprehensive and don't do, did he really, is it right that one people be chosen? Look at here, stop it. That's nothing but that Stockholm syndrome talking. You stop that nonsense, because guess what? These Edomites have lorded over us for 400 years in this diaspora. Over here, we've been on the bottom. We've been on the bottom forever, even though we was chosen to be above all people. Now, we got that way because we turned our back on the Most High. On the Most High. But thousands and thousands of years ago, he said he would bring us back. He would bring us back. And that we will begin to know ourselves. He would begin to show us ourselves. He will bring us out of this. And so you got the priests and prophets of the ISUPK under commanding General Yohanan, waking the people up, lifting up their voice like a trumpet, prophesying to the winds, prophesying upon dry bones. That's what we do, and that's why we teach these classes. The Most High is racist, and we're showing you, according to the Bible, how racist he is, and in who it is that he's in favor of. Who it is that he's in favor of. And he's talking to you, Israel. The Lord thy God has chosen thee, we still Deuteronomy 7:6, to be a special people unto himself above all the people on the face of the earth. Now watch this. In the election time, you out here begging. That's what you're doing. They got every Christian church, got some politician come through it, and they begging you to do stuff during the election process. Why they got you trying to elect officials? So that you can what? Get equal treatment from these people, from these devils. That's so you can get equal treatment, so you can get equal this and equal that. But the Bible just said here, you are above all the people that are on the face of the earth. Following their way, it seemed to me that you have to step down. You have to step down in order to be equal with them people. You know, this dates back prior to Orgy Mike and them, to Martin King, prior to Martin King. That suffrage movement, as they caused our women to get involved, and our brothers and sisters, and even to this day, this voting thing has gone crazy. This voting thing, this integration thing, stop it. The Most High is racist, and he's chosen you among all the people on the face of the earth, and he don't want you mixing with these people in the first damn place. You got no business mixing with these folks. We're going to go on to the next scripture. Second Esdras, this is in the Apocrypha. Second Esdras 6, starting at verse 54. Now, what America is, one of the reasons America represents Babylon, if you go back to the Tower of Babel, what did you have back then? You had a collection of all the people on the face of the earth trying to build a tower to fight God. That's what it was about. And they had what? All their languages was in common, right? Everybody had one language. And this is what they did with that language. And we find that at the Tower of Babel, that the Most High came down, sent the angels down and confused their language and sent them on their separate way and set them in their own land and set the boundaries of those lands. Babylon wanted to bring everybody up under its rule and make one big happy melting pot. You know, want to make one big happy melting pot. And that's what the United States of America is trying to do. They want to turn into one big happy melting pot. So they can fight against the Most High, bring all the people together under this one language called English. Well, it's time to get out of that. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because people will definitely try to tell you. They will tell you, well, we all come from Adam, we all come from Noah, and we don't dispute that. We don't dispute that. But that don't mean the Most High love us all the same. It doesn't mean the Most High love us all the same. Second Esdras 6 and 54, starting at verse 54. And after these, Adam, also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. So first of all, we see that all of us come from Adam. Every last one of us alive come from Adam. Now watch this, what it says in the scripture. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. Now watch this. So he makes a distinction already that all of us come from Adam, but there's a people who the Most High has chosen. And why is that important? Well, because when you start backing these Christians up, when you start putting these Muslims in a corner, and you start putting these East Indians in a corner, and you start putting these Japanese and Vietnamese and these Arabs in a corner, one of the first defenses they want to make is that we all come from Adam. You want to put these blackity blacks in the corner. That's one of their first defenses. We all come from Adam. These educated people, they're going to say, well, we all come from one common ancestor. And we do. But then Second Esdras goes on to say, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Even though we all come from Adam, even though we all come from Noah, the Most High has chosen a particular people. That's you, Yasharala. Verse 55. All this is the prophet speaking, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. Telling you the Most High is racist in favor of Latinos, so-called African Americans, so-called Native Americans. He's racist in favor of us. He's racist in favor of us. Even here, the prophet said that the world was made for our sake. I know that's a bit, after you've been in ghettos and barrios and reservations your entire life, I know that's a bit much to take in. But this world was made for your sake. That's what the scriptures say. I'm not making this up. The world was made for your sake. Verse 56, and for the other people, that's anybody outside of Israel. That's anybody outside of Yasharala, the other people. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, see, he's not leaving them out. He's not leaving them out. The Bible mentioned other people besides Israel. He said the other people who also come from Adam. What does it mention about them? Thou hast said, the second Esdras now. I'm not making this up. You can look it up. Second Esdras 6. I'm at verse 56 right now. As for the other people which also come from Adam, thou hast said, they are nothing. That's what's in the Bible. Your Christian preachers and your Christian mother of the church, and They want you to looky here, go over here, and let's all get together with these good white people because they got the greener grass and the wetter water and the colder ice. You know, don't listen to them. The Most High don't want you with them. He separated you away from them. He separated us away from them. He said they're nothing. You run around here looking up to Donald Trump, thinking his racism is something to be admired, you know, to be honored with awe, looked at with awe. He's a bum. Nothing. He's nothing. He's nothing. That's what the scriptures say. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing. So why are we running around here trying to out-white white people? You know, that's what we do. We're trying to out-white white people just so we can get accepted by them. Haven't we learned after 400 years of lynching, white women lying on our boys, getting them murdered and beat down, and at a whim, you know, our women are being raped, molested, killed, just like the brothers are being killed now. After 400 years of this stuff, from these same people, and we still call it success to move out of the ghetto and to move into the white folks part of the town next to some white people. Ask LeBron James, is he still a nigger? That's how white folks see us. We still niggas. We still niggas. If you trying to be like a white person is spitting in the face of the Most High. Setting them up as your example of success is spitting in the face of the Most High. It's kind of like when we asked for a king, when he was already our king. You see. And they got you running around here electing officials who gonna rule you, electing devils to rule over you. You openly, that's what you're doing. The earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, and you electing wicked men and women to rule over you, to govern over you, when the Most High has already set you apart, already set up his rulership, how Israel shall be ruled. He picks the leader. He picks the leader. He put his Holy Spirit on the leader, and that leader of Israel does the will of the Most High. That leader does not do according to the will of the people. He does according to the will of the Most High. And here's what you're saying when you run down to those election polls, that you rather have a leader that will do your will rather than a leader that will require you to live by the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Because that's what our leaders require, is that we live according to the law, statutes, and commandment of the Most High. Let's get back to the scriptures. Thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. So the Edomite, Elam, all these other nations, the Lord see them as spit. Spit. That's not a place to look up to. He see them as spit according to the Bible. According to the Bible. And we're running around here still trying to be white. General brought out the other day was some sister, Jaquette, call herself a preacher. She shouldn't have been talking in the first place. She said, I don't represent myself as a black woman. And she's teaching this to people now. I represent myself as a Christian woman. If I represent myself as a black woman, I will give my blackness too much power. Can you say Stockholm Syndrome? Can you say Stockholm Syndrome? That's how bad your preacher, your female preachers, hate themselves. See, a female preacher, and this is how she says she represents. The first thing she does is give up her nationality, her individualhood. But it's these black people that she says she don't want to represent herself as. that the Most High has chosen is these black people. She gonna give up her blackness for whatever this world has to offer. And the only thing it has to offer for us, watch this, is oppression. Now, she's gonna wake up one day, that sister gonna wake up one day and find out that she's still a nigga. She's gonna find out she's still a nigga. We're gonna keep reading. It has likened the abundance of them. It seems like it's a whole bunch of folk against us, don't it? I remember when it was just white folks. I'm old enough for that. I remember when it was just white. All you had to do is worry about the white folk. But now, look in your own neighborhood. Am I right? You look in your neighborhood, you ain't got to worry about just white folks. But now you got to worry about the what? The damn filthy ass African in the braiding shops. You got to worry about that damn East Indian selling you Kentucky Fried Chicken because they'll pull out a gun and shoot you. You got to worry about that damn Arab at the liquor store. You got to worry about them Koreans. Look here, Korea is no bigger. Both North and South Korea combined is no bigger than the state of Florida. It's no bigger than the state of Florida. Combined, North and South, it's that big. It's no bigger than the state of Florida. And our sisters cannot go into a Korean nail shop, eyebrow shop, without getting acetone thrown into their face. And what makes it so bad, these jakes out here, they starting to wake up a little bit, but for the most part, these jakes out here, they're not even gonna stand up and help a sister. My rib and I was at, what was that yesterday? Big Lots. And doing a little bit of shopping. And this Edomite was going off on these two sisters, older sisters. And I could not help but stop. And let me explain something. I did not take out my camera. I didn't take out my phone. I didn't take out my phone. Two older sisters there, and they explained it to him that the discount is for this, and you have to have this card. And the sister explained it to the man, that the white boy, that all you have to do is, sign up for our little Big Lot card thing, and you can get the discount. And he wanted to get ignorant and belligerent. I don't want the card, but I want the discount. And then I had to clear my voice because it's like he was ready to raise up. So I cleared my throat and spoke to the ladies. And as he looked at me, and I wasn't even in my garb, it's just our nature. And he looked at me, he took his bags and left the store. That's how that righteous indignation when somebody come at our people, especially an Edomite, or anybody. If you're not Israel, leave our sisters alone. I don't care if they're young, I don't care if they're older than me. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone. You come in here to shop, spend your money, get out. Nobody's bowing down to the white man anymore. We don't. It's abundance of y'all. It's a lot of y'all messing with us, but nobody's scared of y'all no more. We fear the Most High. We keep His laws, statutes, and commandments. Period. And that's it. And He protects us. He protects us. You see. And we want our sisters to know that we protect them. We are here for them as well. But liken the abundance of them. It's a lot of them. But look when he says we got a bunch of enemies. Let me show you something. Psalms 83. I talked about this recently too. Psalms 83. You go through there and you'll find out that they've become a confederate, and they've taken crafty counsel against us. And they begin to name who all involved. And really, Israel, here's the deal, is you against the rest of the world. It's you against the rest of the world. It's us against the rest of the world. He didn't give His laws and statutes and commandments to anybody but us. And while we're trying to be like them, while we're trying to blend in with them, all we really have to do is come back to the law, statute, commandments of the Most High, and he will lift us above every people on the face of the earth. Why? He says it right here. And has lackened the abundance of them unto a drop that's fallen from a vessel. They're nothing. First he said they spittled. He said they spit. You're not going to miss that. You mess around, got a little cold, hawk up a loogie, spit it out. You're not going to come back next week looking for that loogie you spit out. He said a drop. You're carrying a bucket. You got, I don't know, 5-gallon, 2-gallon bucket, and a little drop of water fall out. That's how significant these other nations are to the Most High when it's compared to you. When it's compared to you. We need to stop chasing after them. Stop chasing after them. Go to Isaiah 40 and 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Just line upon line. He just said it in 2nd Esdras that they're nothing to him, but liking the abundance of them as a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now he come back in Isaiah 40 and 15 and said, behold the nations. And that's everybody outside of Israel. Outside of Yasharah. Outside of you, so-called black man and woman, so-called Native American man and woman, so-called Hispanic man and woman. Outside of you, these are the nations. If they're not you, then they are the nations. And he said, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Why? Why is that significant? The small dust of a balance. A balance is nothing more than a very finely tuned scale. That's all it is. A very finely tuned scale. And the dust that's on that scale won't move it, even though 1 grain of rice will. So you're talking about something that's less significant than a grain of rice. That's how he considered the other people of the world. Small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. You'll read someplace about the isles of the Gentiles. The Gentiles are nothing to him. And we're talking Gentiles in the sense that they're non-Israel. Every other nation on the face of the earth other than Israel is a Gentile. Now, we do have Israelite Gentiles, and that's folks who live in a Hellenistic way or adopt the culture, leave the culture of Israel and adopt the culture of the land that they live in. Those are Gentiles, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about the Gentiles who are just non-Israelite Gentiles. Look at here. We're going to take a break right quick, and we'll be back to you in just a few minutes. Shalom, Israel.
It's voting on it. What is it? What is it?
Purchase your tracks today.
Know the people been waiting for a minute for something authentic. Came in the truth and bossed in it, made niggas regroup. Had to shed light on a false image, UPK whole court. Now who the fuck won scrimmage? 2 words for soft niggas. What is good riddance? Don't affiliate with feminine symptoms. I know you feel me, nigga. This a death threat to hip hop. You don't stop that weak shit, I'ma mix your lean with some Grimlock. When the last time you heard it this raw? What I wish for's when the earth inherited by the piss poor. We been to war, them the ones I'm taking risks for. Ain't got no pics or no cars to hold. Holy angels watch my steps, them Glock guard my soul. Can't let them leave my body cold. I know you feel me, nigga. Let the wicked weep and the meek prevail. God never been 50-50, I crash and now awake to sleep a cell. Let the righteous cry, silence the pretender. A rebel without a cause, as long as I remember. Not taking the kingdom, the only thing on my agenda. Can't avoid me, nigga. Middle finger to the ones that try to destroy me. Revenge of beauty, I'm a beast. I told the bitch she can't eat, let she join me for dinner. My God ain't got no regard for a sinner. One call fall on him like timber. I know you feel me, nigga. In the eyes of terror, I stand still. Go to work for the colony, bring it back to the anthill. Plus everything I drop heavy as an anvil. Show you how to stand like a man in this damn field. I know you feel me, nigga. Fuck equality, it gotta be one man win and the rest lose. Wave devastator, I'm calculating my next move. UPK will real niggas seek refuge. Body shots for bars, that'll get you bruised. My niggas whole ranker, check your little attitudes. I came to fuck up your mood on your little holiday like I'm Mr. Scrooge. Resurrected from the grave, walking from the fall. Visions in my eyes, gripping the mic, screaming God bless the underdog. Down by the letter, and live by that protocol. Walk by faith, not by sight. Ain't no hope for getting struggles. Life like some war, resist or get pulled into a world that never left you. I will endure. Election will be sure, correction will be swift. No Will Smith, but I am legend. What else would you call the killer of deception? A leader got soldiers on post in every direction. On go like a German shepherd, young and a restless. Wear honor like a diamond necklace. I know you feel me, nigga.
Purchase your tracks today.
If Rome ain't on it, what is it?
And we're back, Israel. Shalom. With Isaiah 40 and 15, we found out that the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust of a balance. They're insignificant. You are significant to the Most High, Israel. You are significant. And let's see how significant you are. We're going to Psalms 147, starting at verse 19. It's finna get deep now. You want to know why? If we are so special to the Most High, we suffer so much? Listen to this. Psalms 147, starting at verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Listen. When the Most High decided to put his laws and statutes and commandments in this world, he went through a people. He didn't just write them all out and gave it to everybody. To tell you a secret, Christ didn't come for everybody. Jesus didn't come for everybody. He didn't. He came for you, Israel. And why? Because he gave you, Israel, he gave you his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. He said he showeth his word unto Jacob. He didn't show it unto Ishmael. He didn't show up unto the Arab. He didn't show it unto the African. He didn't show it unto the Oriental, the Ammonites. He didn't show it unto the Orientals. He showed them unto Israel, unto Jacob, and the statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Now here's what's important. His statutes are his laws, his word, and then he said his judgments. Now you know what the judgments are? The judgments are real simple. The judgments are the consequences for not keeping the law. It's the consequences for not keeping the law. I'll show you what I mean. You know the speed limit, the law is out there, and the speed limit signs say 75 miles an hour. You hit the freeway at 120. All all of a sudden the blue lights come on behind you, and he hand you a piece of paper, and it costs you some money. That's the judgment for breaking that law. You see, you can take it to court, and the judge is still going to deliver a judgment to you because you broke that law, and you're going to pay some money. The judgments for us, let's see. Today, let's look at what's going on. Halloween, right? Just had Halloween. Before it got dark yesterday here in Detroit, it was already on the news, 2 killed and more sent to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Yesterday afternoon at somebody's house at a Halloween party. Halloween, birthday, stuff like that. If in the Bible, like when they talk about King Herod's birthday, when they go talk about Pharaoh's birthday in the Old Testament, when Joseph was still in prison, and Pharaoh, there was a dream that these fellas was having. And they went to Joseph about the dream. And one was going to be restored to his post, and I'm paraphrasing, and one was going to be have his head cut off. Well, when it came time for the dream to come true, guess what? It was on Pharaoh's birthday. Y'all celebrate birthdays too. See, Halloween, birthdays, Christmas, all these kind of celebrations, they all really lumped into one big paganistic, anti-Most High pot. And so on Pharaoh's birthday, and the Israelite lost his head. Somebody died. And then what? In the New Testament, was it Herod? Was the king who was stepping out with his brother Philip's wife and her daughter on his birthday? On his birthday, John the Baptist lost his head. An Israelite lost his head. So these holidays, we ain't got no business touching them. We ain't got no business touching them. These holidays are nothing but death and destruction for us. Death and destruction. We got no business even touching these holidays. So I'm not feeling all sad and soupy because some folks got killed doing a Halloween party. That's supposed to happen because they're going against the Most High. And I'm sure the numbers ain't through being counted yet. That was just what I saw early yesterday. All over the United States, I bet you black folk end up dead behind Halloween parties. See if we can find a city, a major city, where no black folks was killed no Israelites were killed at a Halloween party. That's interesting, you know. That's his judgment. You disobey the Most High, you die. That's his judgment. That's his judgment. Now watch this. 147, second part of verse 20. No, at verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation. We're talking about he showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. That's you. And then he come back in verse 20 and say, he hath not dealt so with any nation. The Most High is racist. Guess what? He didn't give his word to the Pope. He didn't give his word to Donald Trump or to their people. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. Oh, if you only knew how important it is to these Edomites to not let you know the real history of your own. You see, what they're doing is deliberate. Just like in Psalms 83, what they're doing is absolute deliberate to keep you blinded to the fact that you are Israel, to keep you blinded to the fact that the Most High has chosen you, to keep and make you think that they're somebody. They're nothing. That's what the Bible said. They're nothing. The Most High gave you his law, statutes, and commandments. He didn't give them to nobody else. They're nothing. We are in the situation we're in not because they are any type of special people, but simply because we disobeyed the Most High. Simply because we disobeyed the Most High. And that's why we're in this situation. If we return to the law, statutes, and commandments, guess what? We might just get out of this situation. Never thought about that? People meet us on the street when we do camps and everything. People want to get up and want to argue with us about this. They want to argue with us about that. And it never crossed their mind, wow, maybe we should just return to those laws, statutes, and commandments. They so envious of our oppressor. They chase after the same folk that hang us from poplar trees. Not too many days ago, I read an article where another young man was found hung in the backyard, in his grandmother's backyard. Another black kid. And of course, they want to say it's suicide. They say it's suicide. And no, it wasn't. They snuck up in there and got the boy and killed him. We need to return to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Then we can stop dealing with the judgments. Verse 20, he has not dealt so with any nation. He didn't give his law, statutes. He didn't give his Bible to anybody. Look here. Here's why you should never, ever, 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 ever listen to a school-trained preacher. If it's somebody outside the ISUPK talking about the Bible, you just ought not listen to them. Why? Because right here, the Bible is saying it was only given to Israel, to Jacob and to Israel. That's who the Bible was given to, period. Jacob is Israel, Israel is Jacob. It was given to us. It also says here that it was not given to any other people on the face of the earth. It was not given to any other nation. And yet, most every Bible college, put it like this, outside of ISUPK, all Bible colleges outside ISUPK are somehow fall under the structure of the Roman Catholic Church, which is a bunch of white boys now, who don't and cannot understand the Bible. He's not giving his word. They looking at this and they got all this stuff that they teach, and they teach everything except for the truth. They teach everything except for the truth, and that is that so-called African American, so-called Native American, so-called Hispanic is the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They won't teach you that. You should never listen to a black preacher that's been taught by a white seminary. And just because the seminary might be ran by black people, it's still a white seminary. Why? Because look at the books they use. The writings of Martin Luther, the writing of Wesley, the writings of Huff, the writings, Fox Books of Mormon. Look at what they use. White folks. And they got it twisted so it can be a religion in their favor. Here's another secret. All religion is false. All of it. All of it. Every last bit of it. All of it is false. So, let's keep on going. He said he has not dealt so with any nation. They don't have his word. They don't understand this Bible. And as for his judgments, they have not known them, praise the Lord. They will know them, but they have not known them. Show you what I mean. The Most High gave us a dietary law, right? Gave us a dietary law. No shrimp, no crab, no pork, no lobster, none of that. If it don't have don't have fins and scales, and it comes out the sea, don't eat it. If it don't have a split hoof and chews the cub and it's a beast of the field, don't eat it. But we eat all kind of disgusting things. And guess what? We got all type of disgusting diseases associated with our diet. We lead the nation. High blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, on and on and on. Iron deficiency, on and on and on. Now watch this. White folks eat it and they just don't bother them. Those Koreans, they eat that filthy ass squid and all that kind of octopus and stuff like that. It don't bother them. But it's killing us. See, they don't know the judgments. We know the judgment. The diseases we have right now is part of the judgments. That we live in barrios, ghettos, reservations, part of the judgments for not keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. He's racist. He's prejudiced towards us. And he loves us. He loves us. He don't love any other nation on the face of the earth like he loved Israel. What do they call us now? There's a new saying, new title. My brother's gone to jail for this already, but they finally let him out. Race extremists. Sometimes I think that's part of the phrase, race extremists. Well, if I'm a race extremist, if the brothers in ISUPK are race extremists, what do you think about the Most High when He the one that chose us? And He says it. He's not giving His word to any other nation, and they don't even know His judgments. They will. It's on the way. They will. And when I say He loves us, I'm not playing. Let's go to Romans 9 and 13, one of the favorite verses. And you know, Esau, that's the devil that the Bible speaks of. Romans 9, 13. As it is written, Jacob, who's Jacob? That's Israel. You so-called black man and woman, that's you, so-called Native American, you so-called Hispanic. As it is written, Jacob have I loved. Can't you see? That's from the time we sat down this morning, that's what we're talking about, is how much the Most High loves you, how much the Most High loves Israel. But Esau have I hated. Now, Esau, that Edomite, that's the white man, that's the devil that the Bible speaks of. He said he hates him. You know, that throws out the window the notion that the Christian preacher, who I told you never listen to, would tell you that God loves everybody. Right here, he just said, Esau I have hated. You know, when you say have done something or had done something, that's called a perfect participle. That means that's a perfect statement. I have hated. And that might be a continual hatred, because Esau has had a perpetual hatred for us. For us. And the Most High hates anybody that hates us. And Esau particularly hates us. That Edomite particularly hates us. That's why he hunt our steps. He hunt our steps. And then he hold himself not guilty. Read a story yesterday. A veteran on the police force in some city was talking to a recruit via Facebook and everything. And the recruit was asking for some advice from this veteran. Well, what should I do if I run into kids smoking marijuana? He said, if they're black, F doing the right thing, shoot them. Then they had conversations about what they would do sexually to the parents of the kids. And then he told them again, except for if the father is black, shoot him. This is today. This is going on today. And it's only going on because, you know why this happened to us? Because we still refuse to come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Return home. Come into this school. Come into the ISUPK. Learn these law, statute, commandments under General Yohana and grow your family. Receive the protection of the Most High. Receive the protection of the Most High. Every time you step out here into this world, this Edomite world, every time you step out there, love not the world, nor the things of the world. Every time you step out there, you're subject to be destroyed, literally. Literally. Why take a chance? You tried Christianity, you tried Islam all these many years. And the only thing it's got you, the same thing it's got our forefathers, enslavement, and the new enslavement system called the MDOC, that's the Michigan Department of Corrections, or the prison industry system. Prisons are there so that they can have free labor to continue to make billions upon billions of dollars. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. And what shall we say then? Is their unrighteousness unrighteousness with God. God forbid. This is Paul writing. Is the unrighteousness with God because he loves Jacob and hated Esau? See, God forbid. God forbid. There is no unrighteousness with God. Even if you ask the white folks pretending to have religion, is God unrighteous? They would tell you no, except for those who call themselves atheists. They would say, yeah, he's a bastard. That's what they would say. And that's why we don't believe in them. That's what they would say. But the Most High is righteous. He is righteous. He sees the plight of his people, his chosen people. And he's just simply waiting for his chosen people to turn back to him. To turn back to him. What we have is what we've gotten because we turn to other people's ways. We try to be like the Orientals. We want to out-orient the Orientals. We want to out-Europe the Europeans. We want to out-Caucus the Caucasian, you know. We want to out-Arab the Arab, you know. Out-African the African. It's crazy. We have been so busy trying to be everybody else. To this day, you ask one of us what our nationality is, they're going to say African American. Dumb. Unless they've been in this truth. But we're waking them up. We're waking them up. We're just doing what the Most High told us to do. Making these, doing these classes, making these videos, getting out in these corners, telling what the Bible said. Not what I think, what the Bible said. Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. He still hates Esau. It's interesting. Esau, that Edomite, the white man that the devil that the Bible speaks of, who the white man is. Do you know in the Bible he's the only one, the only nation that the Most High is not going to have any mercy on? No mercy on him, none. And that's why he fights so hard against us. And that's why Donald Trump and them have doubled down. You got space forces to fight Yahushua when he come back. Sending troops to the border. Because people are fleeing a war-torn country that was done that way and engineered to be that way by the Americans. With their drug money and all of that. And with their what is that, when their embargoes and their economic war against countries like Venezuela and Guatemala and anybody in this hemisphere that will not do what they want them to do. Anybody in this hemisphere that are of the house of Israel. That's who they're fighting against in particular. Is the house of Israel. Let's go to Amos 3, starting with verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt. Now he identifies you here in a number of ways. The children of Israel by name, and just in case somebody don't know who that is the whole family that he brought up from the land of Egypt. We was in bondage in Egypt. We was in slavery in Egypt, but he brought us out of that. You only, what did he say? You only. Did it say you and? No, it says you only have I known. Here's one of them phrases to tell you it's going to include everybody. And he doesn't say world. He said, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. He don't know Donald Trump. He just don't know Donald Trump's people. He don't know Donald Trump's daughter husband's people. He don't know the Arab. He don't know the African. He don't know the German. He don't know the white man. He don't know the Chinese man. He don't know the Korean man. He don't know the East Indian. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. So if the Most High only know us, again, you have to ask the question, why are we living in this condition? Well, he goes on to tell us, therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquity or all your sin. That's why we're the way we are, because we are in our punishment. We are in our punishment, but we don't have to stay this way. All we have to do is return back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. The Most High is racist. Stop worrying about Donald Trump. Don't worry about Donald Trump's military. Don't worry about his space force. None of that. We don't have to worry about these Mama used to say, these good white folks. We ain't got to worry about them no more. All we have to do is return to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32. Is that where we want to go? No. Let's go to Malachi 1, starting at verse 3. Malachi 1 say, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Another point. I know they want you to believe that the Most High loves people, love everybody, but he's telling you he hate Esau. He hate Esau. He even laid his heritage waste. Verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. That ain't how white folks do. You mess around, and I don't know what they did to George Bush, but they did something to George Bush, the daddy Bush. And that after that, they started bombing Iraq, and I'm surprised Iraq still is on the face of the earth. They've been bombing them for the last 20 years, seems like. That's how the white man do. But look, Deuteronomy 28 told us that since we was going to be, the curses that was going to follow us, we'll go out after our enemy one way and have to flee before him 7 ways. And guess what? This Edomite is our enemy. So he always comes back. So we can't fight him with flesh and blood. We can't fight him with guns and stuff like that. What we can do is come up out of Babylon, come up out of her. Because Babylon is falling. We can come up out of her. Take our mind out of there. Take our money out of there. Quit keeping their holidays. If you just quit keeping their holidays, you can probably bankrupt this country. No birthday gifts, no Halloween candy, no Christmas gifts, no big dinners for Thanksgiving, no 4th of July fireworks celebration, no Valentine's Day, no Swedish Day, no Easter bunnies. No Easter bunnies. This is where they make all their money. Thanksgiving coming up, they're going to call it Black Friday. And most big box stores won't see their first profit for the year until the weekend, that's Friday, right after Thanksgiving. They'll finally see their first profits. Imagine if every, watch this, so-called African American, every so-called Native American, every so-called Hispanic person did not spend money for Christmas stuff and go to all them sales. It'd be a crisis. It'd be an economic crisis in this country by that Monday. It just didn't go. And we're not talking about boycotting, we just don't go. Ain't no boycott. Don't want that shit no more. You see, just don't want it no more. And then we also be obeying the Most High. You see, we also be being the Most High. Whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. So all this stuff Trump is doing, all this stuff talking about the American economy, this and that, and they building up, and they can build. He's making a stronger Air Force and a stronger army. They can build. But the Most High say, I will throw down. The Most High will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. Now, that's what they ought to call the customs area when people are coming to this country, the borders of wickedness. Because the wickedness in this country is like no place else in the world. Imagine this, how wicked this country is. They tell you, we don't advocate, I don't advocate, I'm not saying smoke weed. But for years and years and years, they've locked up millions of brothers for selling this thing called weed, marijuana. And now, it's legal. And now it's legal, but nobody's rushed down to the jailhouse to let these brothers out. To say, okay, that's no longer a crime. This is what they say. Oh, that was a crime back then, so you got to still serve time. What the hell? Where they do that at? Where they do that at? They lost their damn mind. They are arrogant. They build up, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. These are wicked people. These Edomites, they have described, I'm going to finish this particular scripture, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So watch this. No matter what you do to me, no matter what you do to us, you still got to face the Most High. The Edomites got to face the Most High. That's who our biggest enemy is. That's who our biggest crusher is. The other nations are in league with him. The Edomites still sell us. They go to these Arab nations and say, look at here. Come on over here. We're gonna put you in the ghetto and give you all the liquor stores. We're gonna take away their liquor license and their beer license and their wine license, and you can have all of that in their neighborhood. Because we got some folks that's going to give them a little bit of job and y'all can get rich off them. Then they go to the East Indian. Look here, you want the fast food, you want the chicken, you want the chicken places. Here, come get is that Popeyes and Churches and Captain J's. Come get these places, you see. And they go to the Koreans and say, come on here. We're going to put you in the black neighborhood, in these Israelite neighborhoods, and we're going to give you the hair care products, and we're going to give you the nail salons and stuff like that. And you can make money off of them. The people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. The Most High is not going to forget what y'all have done to us. He's not going to forget, and you're going to pay. Deuteronomy 32:8. Let's go there. When the Most High, and we're talking about the Most High's racist in favor of Israel. You can't get around it. You can't get around it. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, from whom we all come, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. In other words, watch this. He set their borders based on how he looks at us, based on our numbers. Everything is, he's chosen us, so everything everybody else does in the earth is related back to us, some kind of way. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. We are the Lord's portion. He let everybody else be about what they want to be about. But he chose us to be his portion, to be his people, to be his kings, his priests. Those to be the ones who put forth his laws into the earth And when we turned our back and went chasing after other folks, he said, okay, I'm gonna let you have the fruit of your the fruits of your labor. You want to chase after other folks, watch what's gonna happen. See, he didn't have to force them to come get us. He just took his protection away. They were mad at us anyway. He just took his protection away. Verse 10, and this is Deuteronomy 32. Just read verse 8, verse 9, verse 10. He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. Now y'all know we wandered in the wilderness for some years before we even got into the promised land. And he instructed us and he led us and he was trying to bring us to himself. And we said, yes, Lord, all that you said we're going to do. He married himself to us. We married ourselves to him. Yes, Lord, all you said we're going to do. And then we turned around and became adulterous. Started chasing after other gods, chasing after customs of other people. But he has kept us as the apple of his eye. I'm not sure how much more the Most High can take of us being treated the way we are. But he'll take less the faster we turn to his law, statutes, and commandments. The faster we turn back to his law, statutes, and commandments, the faster Yahweh Shah can come back and put an end to this nonsense. Leviticus 20 and 26, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. Now, severed, that's important that we use that word. Severed means to violently rip apart from. That's why they say his arm was severed in the car accident. It was violently ripped away from his body. You see, his head was severed from his body. It was violently ripped away from his body, severed. He's violently ripped us away from other people. I've severed you from other people. We got no business fooling around, even listening to any philosophies of any other people. We got no business touching Christianity or none of that. Christianity ain't in the Bible. It ain't there. Religion ain't in the Bible. This is our records. This is how we live. And you run around here want to go to a church that got a steeple on it, and what you don't know is the symbolism of churches. That steeple represents the all about homosexuality. We got laws against that kind of mess. That steeple is what they call a phallic symbol or a big dingling, a big penis. That's all it is. It's penis worship. That's what they do in them churches. That's why your churches are so effeminate, so gay. They're so effeminate. He said, but we are to be holy, separate. That means to be separate. He said he's separate. And he said, he has severed you from other people that we should be his. He severed us. He violently ripped us away from the other people that we might be his. Now, here's the sad part about it, that you keep crying about the racism of Trump. Let Trump be racist. Let's go to Jeremiah 2:33. The question is asked here, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Look, he said, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? You looking for love. What that song, looking for love in all the wrong places? You looking to get love from the white man. You looking to get love from the Arab man. You looking to get love from no. And you turning your way, and watch this, trimming your way. You turning your way away from what the Most High tells you to do, trying to follow after them. Trying to follow after them that they might love you, but they will never, never love you. And we taught the wicked one enough. We taught the wicked ones just enough of our ways that they can use it against us. They can use it against us. Ezekiel is telling us, look, everybody know about the Lord's pastor and this flock and all that. Everybody know about that. Jesus said, my sheep, but hear my voice. And they know my voice. So Ezekiel tells us this, Ezekiel 34:1, and ye my flock, the flock of my pastor are men. That's Israelite men. And I am your God, saith the Lord. They are men. So why we got all these women up here teaching us about this Bible? We are just so mixed up because we turned our back on the Most High. And watch this. People will tell you that I'm wrong to speak about women preachers, particularly black women preachers. They would just lose their mind. They got no business trying to teach this. The flock of his pastor are men. That's who should be up here teaching. So my brothers out there, give up your Jake ways, man. Come up out that Christian church, come off them corners, and come into this ISUPK. Start coming to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Come study with us. And here's what the Most High saying. This is going to be my last scripture. This is what the Most High promised. If we turn back to the Most High, we turn to law, statutes, and commandments. Joel 2:22. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. And we're ashamed right now. We've been involved in so much mess as a people through our life. We don't have a family among Israel that has not been touched by drug addiction. We don't have families in Israel that has not been touched by incest, that has not been touched by some type of sexual perversion. We don't have a family in Israel that hasn't been touched by men going into the prison system. We don't have a family in Israel where it hasn't been touched by single motherhood or whorism. And we're ashamed. We are ashamed. But if we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, there's brothers and sisters who will tell you, when you come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, come into the ISUPK. Study these laws, statutes, and commandments. Put on that all black. Do those 90 days. He walks with you and he takes away that shame. We're not ashamed. I do with this. ISUPK, we are ashamed of nothing. We are ashamed of nothing. The Most High is racist. He's racist in favor of the lost sheep of the house of Israel, who are you so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans. That's who he's racist towards. And he's against everybody else. He's against everybody else. I want to say shalom, Israel. Pay your tithes. And if you're not in the truth, look us up on YouTube, Facebook, and get a number. In your city, near you, there is an ISUP camp. Come in and learn this truth. Get beyond these basics. Get beyond these basics. And get ready for the return of Yahushua, our King. Pay your tithes. Pay your tithes. Shalom, Israel.
Trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to Rhythm Man blues, call this guitar smoke. rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good record. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how did you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain, something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword with a